It's not just you. It's me too, bro. I've taken the Lord's grace for granted for way too many years, way too long. I remember times where I've went through with sin, feeling the conviction on the premise that I knew the Lord would forgive me, bro. I hate to admit that, but it's true. And the older I'm getting, the closer I'm getting to the Lord, the more I'm ashamed of all of the time I wasted, all of the time that I chased after my sinful desires instead of surrendering myself to the Lord and allowing Him to use my life to help push the kingdom forward, to do His will while I was here on earth. I'm just now realizing as a 33-year-old man that that is what life is about in a nutshell. Psalm 90, verse 12. Teach us to number our days that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Can you or me honestly say that throughout our lives we've numbered our days, like we kept eternity in the forefront of our decisions? I can't say that. I can't say that one bit. I've gotten closer to the Lord in these last 2.5, 3 months than I ever have my whole life. Now imagine if I would have dedicated as much time as I do now to praying and to reading the Bible, listening to sermons and things of that nature, trying to really grow my relationship with God. If I'd have did that for the last 10 years, how much spiritual growth I would have now and how many people I could have potentially helped find the Lord too. The Lord tells us not to dwell in the past, but it's hard not to, bro. Not to mention, I've taken my life for granted for so long. Just the air that we breathing right now, my heart's still beating right now. All of that is grace and mercy from the Lord, bro. But who views it that seriously? Who views every time that they wake up is grace and mercy from the Lord? We've been waking up our whole lives. That's normal to us. Like, that's just another thing we take for granted. You know what I mean? And I'm just really trying to put things in perspective for all of us, bro. It's time for us to really wake up and realize how much love and mercy the Lord shows us. And we have to turn our lives to Him so He can use it for the right things. I feel like that's how Satan gets us though, right? For some reason, for a long time, I was convinced like, I got time. I got time to get right with the Lord. You know, when I was younger, I wanted to party. I wanted to drink. I wanted to get high and all of that type of nonsense that didn't really amount to anything, on the premise that, when I get older, I could fix my relationship with God and I could start walking that narrow path. But what if you don't get to make it to be older? Not to mention, a lot of my decisions was based off of what other people may think of me or how they view me, instead of me following the Lord and standing out and being on my own, being the outcast in that regard. I wanted to fit in so bad that I pretty much rejected the Lord, bro, this whole time. And He been right there with His arms open, ready to embrace me. You know what I mean? Just foolishness, man. And the more and more as you get older, you know, you start having more responsibilities. You start having kids like how I do now. I got 2 kids. And you start focusing more on providing and being financially stable. And I'm sitting here working while overtime, and I'm upset that I got to work so much instead of being grateful that God give me the strength to work as much as I need to. You know, just little things like that. Not really acknowledging God in all my ways, you know, not praying consistently, only wanting to pray when things are going bad or I did something wrong. Now I'm hoping God can get me out of it. Something to that effect, instead of involving God in every aspect of our lives. We get caught up trying to be rich, essentially, trying to be financially free. But what does that financial freedom going to do for you when eternity comes knocking at the door? It was a verse I wanted to read in here. Let me find it real quick that pertains to what I just said. Bear with me, y'all. Bear with me. All right, so this is from Luke chapter 12, verse 16 through 21. This one kind of long, so bear with me. And he told them this parable. The ground of a certain rich man yielded an abundant harvest. He thought to himself, what shall I do? I have no place to store my crops. Then he said, this is what I'll do. I will tear down my barns and build bigger ones, and there I will store my surplus grain. And I'll say to myself, you have plenty of grain laid up for many years. Take life easy, eat, drink, and be merry. But God said to him, you fool, this very night your life will be demanded from you. Then who will get what you have prepared for yourself? This is how it will be with whoever stores up things for themselves, but is not rich toward God, man. And what's crazy is that's exactly what we're taught to do our whole lives. Try to store up, prepare ourselves for potential retirement and things like that. And some people are fortunate enough to make it to that point. I'm not saying you should give up on preparing yourself for retirement, because the fact of the matter is we don't know how much time we have. But if God is not involved in your life, then it all could be for nothing, bro. I've said this before, I'll say it again. It don't matter if you live to be 100 years old. What is 100 years to eternity? Where is your soul going to go? When are we going to start investing time in where our soul is going to reside after we leave here? This is not it. They want us to believe this is it. Get as much as you can. YOLO, have as much fun as you can. And in the meantime, ignore the person who created you and put you here. That's what they want us to do. Just focus on everything else except for our Creator, except for doing His will for our life. And in a nutshell, His will for our life, in my opinion, is to glorify His name through the things that we do, in hopes that will have other people gravitate towards Him. Life is too short, man. Life is too short. We never know when the Lord is going to pull our ticket, when we're going to have to give account for all the things that we did. And just imagine having to give an account for never praying to Him, never speaking to Him, never being grateful for the things you had, just continually searching to get more and more things. And I'm guilty of this too, bro. It's not a video of condemnation, just a video of conviction. To involve the Lord in your life more. To seek after Him with more intention. Carve out you and Lord time, you guys alone. Going to church is not enough. You have to build your own one-on-one relationship with Him with your free time. And it has to be intentional and genuine, bro. Enough is enough, man. I'm out.